Two ranked showdowns. What to watch with Iowa versus Yukon and Louisville versus Tennessee. Yukon versus Iowa. Then we'll have Louisville versus Tennessee. Big games, big stage.
Big games.
Big
Big
names.
names. Big names.
Big names. We're talking about the Women's Champions Classic at Barclays Center. Kicks off, oh Lord, at 8 a.m. if you're in California. I imagine I'm gonna set an alarm. That's the goal. I might record the game.
But you're usually
just
up at 7 anyway.
I am, but sometimes when it's like Saturday, you don't have anything to get up
Okay.
for. Just some safety nets.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to be tired. I don't know. Full disclosure, reason I don't know, it's because we're having cocktails right now.
At least one, right? To kind of, it's the evening. We're doing this in the evening. Yeah.
This is 9:30 p.m. on a Friday night. Yes, it is cocktail hour. I don't have coffee this time. I have a cocktail, a nice martini. That's why I'm concerned about me getting up tomorrow. Well, oh my God, sorry. There were fireworks going on
Cars
outside
starting,
because
probably.
no, it's definitely
wow.
firework, like one of those illegal
Okay.
fireworks. So sorry
Okay.
about that. Got a little distracted. So we're going to talk about UConn and Iowa first, even though they are the second game of that day tomorrow. But I feel like they're the bigger game. I feel like that's where all the big names are. That is a rematch, if you will, from the game they had about a year and a half ago in April of 2024.
But they faced, is that the Final Four? They faced them in the, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Just want to be clear.
Yeah, so yes, this is the marquee rematch of the Final Four. Iowa knows it can beat UConn, but UConn, this is a different game. Excuse me, a different team. This UConn team is a different team, and honestly, the Iowa team's different. There's no Caitlin over there. Okay, over here there's no Paige, but guess who we have now? We've got a Sarah Strong. We have Blanca. It's just a different team with a different identity, and I can say that for both teams.
Right.
You have anything to add?
It's coming. Give me a minute. It's the martini. It's everything working here. No, there are two different teams, but here's my thought though. Even though Paige was great, love her dearly, I think UConn got better.
Yes,
I think
do too.
UConn got better. I don't see Iowa as quote unquote getting better. I think the wild card in all of this will be they're at a quote neutral site. And generally, sort of these neutral site games tend to be wild cards. I mean, who shows up from a fan standpoint, and then the team intensity. So, but I think that we're going to see a good game tomorrow, even though we saw Iowa sort of take one from Iowa State, a few weeks back. But I think we're going to see a good game tomorrow.
Yeah, Gino had been quoted saying, with Iowa, they shoot about or they make about 8 to 9 threes. So that's something he's looking at. They're a good team. And he said that, and quote, they do two things really well. They can score with their bigs in the lane, and their transition offense is really, really good. So Gino's going to look for his team to be getting back, picking up early. And this is going to be a true test of, both teams post game. Right, because they're both team strengths. On Iowa, they got Hannah. What's her last name?
No, not Hill Dog. I'm thinking.
No.
Duh.
Hannah. Oh my God, we should not drink and try to podcast because I knew all this 5 sips ago. But they have Hannah. We'll just call her Hannah for now until I can remember her last name, who was big in the game versus Iowa State. Yeah. She had 15 rebounds and 10 points. She did foul out, but Hannah has a huge assignment. Hannah Stolke, thank you very much. She has a huge assignment ahead of her because if she thought, guarding Audi was an assignment, she's getting not a break. There's no breaks on UConn because yes, you have Sarah Strong, but guess what? On the bench you've got Blanca, and the host of the other Sarah, right? The host of other players that can play on the inside. So I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Iowa on that matchup. Their coach is even quoted saying, Blanc is a great player. Sarah's a great player. She's called UConn a mini WNBA team. So she is definitely prepared in the sense of she's expecting UConn to play UConn
Yeah,
basketball.
I think that's right. I mean, they are sort of a mini WNBA team, but here's the deal: if Iowa had big problems with Audi Crooks, they're going to have bigger problems with Sarah Strong. I mean, Audi, love her too. Her footwork, her physicality, although not overt, was present. Sarah Strong tends to bring everything, all of that Audi brings, probably at a little bit of a higher level and higher intensity. So it's going to be more of a challenge. And if you remember, Hannah Sulky fouled out in that Iowa State game.
Yes.
So if she
Mm-hmm.
has to play Sarah Strong in that way, then hopefully she's going to protect herself from fouls and be able to stay in the game. So the physicality that we're going to see inside hopefully is measured, and both teams get to keep their bigs in for the entire game. But if it gets too physical, I'm sure the rest will try to get it under control, and therefore fouls will be called. But I think we're going to see a battle in the paint.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think another challenge Iowa's going to have to face is UConn's depth. Their coach, Iowa's coach, even said, we can talk about the starters, but then you've got amazing players coming off the bench. So they're going to have to stay locked in
Yeah,
all this. And
yeah,
there's no breaks. I mean, like I said with Hannah, I mean that applies for everybody on the team. There's going to be absolutely no breaks for anyone because they have the job too of trying to run AZ Fudd off the 3-point line, which good luck. I haven't seen a team really be able to be successful at kind of locking her up with that 3-point shot. Again, I think that Iowa's a great team. I think their coach will prepare them as best as she can.
mhm,
But like we always say with opponents playing UConn, all this is easier said
yeah,
than done. Like you can say you got to be physical in the post. You got to run AZ Fudd off the 3-point line. Get your transition off it. Blah, 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 blah. But it's UConn. I mean, and this team, you made a great point with they lost Paige Beckers, but haven't
yep,
missed a
yep,
step. And in fact, they've improved. And I don't think it's so much they've gotten more talented. It almost feels like they're more
yep,
disciplined.
yep,
It almost feels like winning that natty set the bar even higher. And now they're like, we've set these
yep.
expectations for ourselves way higher than we even did
Yeah, yeah.
last year.
The thing about, I mean, the thing about UConn, I know we focus a lot on UConn, but they are the number one team. The thing about UConn is they find a way, and this is what Gino does. He finds your weaknesses, and he's tried to exploit them. Then he
Yes.
finds a way to introduce a certain measure of chaos, on the defensive
Mm.
end and in the offensive end. And again, like I said before, when we previewed the USC UConn game, Gino is the master of not just in-game adjustments, but he's more he makes situational adjustments based on what he sees, and that could come in the first quarter, it could come in the second quarter, it could come all the way till the fourth quarter, the last 2 minutes left, where he's still coaching and still running. So UConn is
Yeah.
well equipped, I think, to handle if Iowa scouted them appropriately, and their game plan is, you know what, we're going to neutralize Sarah Strong, and if they beat us from the perimeter, they beat us from the perimeter. If they saw that SC game or saw the tape from that SC game, UConn had 44 points in the paint. I don't think Iowa wants them to have 44 points in the paint, given how lethal they are from the perimeter.
Right. Hopefully, the game they watched also was the Michigan game to see how Michigan was able to make a comeback and really kind of exercise their defense to get back in the game and almost win that game. Because that's the only game we've seen this season that UConn was this close to
Yep,
losing.
yep,
Other than that, we haven't really seen them face adversity. And I just want to point out, too, to further drive it home how much Iowa understands how UConn is, their coach said that this probably is the best team that Gino has ever had in the history of
that's big.
UConn. Huge,
That's big.
huge. If you think about who's come
Yeah,
out of
that's big.
UConn,
Yeah,
huge
that is
statement.
big.
And I agree with that because like I said, we've talked about this before with, obviously there's your Sarah Strong, you've got your AZ Fudd, but the whole team is
Yeah,
good. Like, I can talk about those 2 till the cows come home, but that the team itself, everybody on that team pretty much contributes in some way. And that's the hard part about playing UConn. You don't have just one player you need to shut down. You don't get a break when Sarah Strong comes off the court because here comes Blanca. It is just a very, very good team. However, I do expect Iowa to compete. Now, I made the mistake with USC and giving them way too much a window of like, they can
They
do it,
can
like
do
little
it.
engine that could. I'm still gonna say that UConn is going to win beat Iowa. I'm hoping Iowa does not get blown out like USC. Um, I don't have much hope because I did that last time with USC and I got burned
Yeah,
on the
yeah, you
hope.
did. Yeah, you
So
did. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, UConn is gonna
yeah.
come in here very prepared and they're gonna smash Iowa.
Well,
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna say this, and I think the first half will be very, very competitive. Very competitive
it.
and very, I'm not saying the score is going to be like exceptionally close. I think the first half is very competitive. I think Iowa has seen enough of UConn, and everybody has for that matter, to know, where the landmines are, how they plan to attack us, and how they plan to, win this game, if they can. It gets down to execution on the Iowa side. Can they
Yeah,
execute? They're going to have a plan. If they learned anything from the Iowa game, they're going to try to deny Sarah Strong entry passes. Okay, they don't want her getting the ball in her spot. Again, if I were coach,
or getting position.
getting
Yes, yes,
position
yes.
down low. They don't want that. So they're going to try to deny that, I hope. The second thing is AZ Fudd. I'm almost of the mind that at least see how she's running that day. Give it, let her bring the ball down. Don't double her. Don't pressure her. Go one on one with her. Try to, one on one defense and see how things end up. Iowa has to stop the ball from getting down to Sarah Strong in her spot in position so she can do what she does, and that is score.
And I think Hannah or whoever's, guarding, um, Sarah Strong, be prepared to come out of the key because Sarah can play
That's
perimeter
right.
as well. Like I said, it's gonna be a big drop. But I do like the point you're making that basically Iowa needs to play good defense, but not overreact on
Yeah, yeah.
defense.
And
Is
I
what
would
I
even be
mean. Yeah.
tempted if I'm Iowa, if I would even be tempted to not get caught up in the physicality thing and just I mean, this may be hazardous, but try to stretch the court. Try to
Mhm.
have them run with you. They're UConn's the running team. I mean, just kind of like pick your poison. But that inside the paint thing that they do with Sarah Strong, that wins games and it wins them quickly. Iowa needs to stay
Yeah.
close all the way to the fourth
Yeah.
quarter,
Yeah.
if not lead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Iowa's got quite an assignment, quite a task. I like how you said that UConn likes to run. Yeah, like we said, it's easier to say you guys should control the pace of the game, but again, very hard to do when you are struggling against a well defending
Yep,
UConn team because they like
they
to
do.
swarm, and then now you got to play your
Yep,
defense when they're moving
yep,
that ball around. It's going to be a true test
yep, yep.
for Iowa. And it'd be nice to Iowa, like you said, be able to compete. They just, the Iowa State loss, I'm sure was a tough loss for them. It's just going to be a challenge for them, a challenge that they're going to test to see, as they say in sports, what they're
That's
made
right.
of.
That's right.
Like, you get to see what you're made
That's
of when you play the number one team. Like, you need to go in there, like, this is the number one team. This is not that team from a year and a half ago. Get that
yeah,
out your
yeah.
mind. That
That
team
team's
is
gone.
gone.
Long gone.
This is the freaking Portland Fire. This is the this is the new expansion team for the WNBA that you're about to go play. Good freaking luck. Yes, so that game will be the second game of tomorrow or
Saturday.
Saturday,
Wherever
whatever
you
you're
are.
watching. It's the second game of the Women's Championship Classic. So the first game, that means the first game, excuse me, is on my paperwork. Louisville versus Tennessee. Last time we talked about college basketball, I was singing Louisville's praises, and I have not changed my tune. I'm very excited to watch Louisville play. I love that team. I've called them my sleeper team. I don't think they're ranked properly, but again, they're 17, or excuse me, they're
They're 16.
16, and
Yep.
Tennessee is 17. Um, Tennessee has not won against a ranked team this season, I believe. And I think Louisville has won against two, or at least one. They won against UNC the other day. They're 2-0 in conference play. How do you feel about this game?
Well, first of all, I always check Vegas. Vegas has
Yes.
Tennessee winning this game. They're 4.5. The point spread is 4.5, and it's in Tennessee's favor.
Trap
So
bet.
feels like a trap bet to me. But I will say this: Tennessee has a defense. They do pressure the ball. They do. It does result in turnovers. They are very comfortable in winning these lower possession games. You know what I mean? Just slowing it down, getting the score to a place where it's not in the hundreds or whatever. But they tend to work, a very I don't know, in an organized, methodical kind of way. Louisville, on the other hand, very offensive oriented team. So it's interesting. It will be interesting to see how a defensive minded team such as Tennessee matchups with an offensive minded team who's looking to score, 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 score. So that would be very, very great. Louisville, they have a perimeter game. Perimeter shooting is, as you know, is hard to defend. So that will be a
Mhm.
challenge for Tennessee. I think we're going to have a very balanced game. This 4.5 point spread in Tennessee's favor, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, Vegas kind of, you know how they do. They they put
Yeah.
things out there, and
Bet,
yep,
bet.
they put things out there hoping you bite, and then next thing you know, money's moving this way and that way. But I really feel like a lot of the play, we may not see a lot of fast breaks, going to see a lot of half court action, and we're going to see a battle. We're going to see a battle.
Yeah. Yeah. Tennessee is great on the boards. That's something Louisville is going to have to be mindful of. They've got Jania over there, Jania Barker, but Roberts has been playing well. I always bring up, well, I will always bring up the fact that Louisville was a 3-pointer away from beating South
Yeah.
Carolina. That is no easy
No.
feat. That is something to
No.
brag about. That is something to be confident about going to face other teams. You only lost because I mean, the shot was bad.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but you only lost because you missed that shot. They got wide open. They were playing great with South Carolina that whole game. It wasn't just like they had to come back and had this miraculous comeback. They played that game solid. And if I was a coach for Louisville, I would be showing them that game. Everything we did in that game versus South Carolina, let's strive to do that every game, with Tennessee not being any exception. Again, only thing they have to really kind of ramp up a bit is their rebounds, because I think Tennessee will out rebound them. But like you said, Louisville is great on the perimeter. They've just been scoring machines, and I just really think they might pull this one out. I do expect, however, this game to be more of a back and forth than
Oh,
the Iowa
definitely.
and
Yeah,
UConn
most
game.
definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely. And the other point I'll make here is this: I don't think Tennessee. It's going to be a game of pace. Tennessee may get uncomfortable somewhere during the game when Louisville ramps up the pace, because all they're
Yeah.
doing is running from they're running from 3 point line to 3 point line. They're not really, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to go and try to defend down low. I think they're going to be looking for outlet passes. They're going to be looking to run down to the 3 point line, put it up and shoot. I think they're going to look to defend the 3 point line on the other end, and then anything that happens down low, they're going to rely on their bigs to get the rebound and kick it out. They have not shown a problem in getting defensive rebounds. So
Mhm.
that's where the action is going to be. That's where the action is going to be.
Yeah.
And just like in the Yukon game, being at a neutral site, playing at a neutral site, there's
Yes.
all kind of different dynamics that go on. So let's see how that
Yeah.
affects. And they're the first game. So let's see how
Mm.
that affects, both teams' style of play.
Yeah. And I think Tennessee actually wants a little bit of a physical game. I think they They thrive with a little more physicality, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Again, they start at 8 a.m. California time. Do the math wherever you're at. Also, there's Google, a good friend of the show. Use Google. It will tell you what time these games come on wherever you are. Like I said, they come on 8 a.m. where we are. I'm excited about these games, so that might be what gets me up. The vodka might have me a little drowsy tomorrow morning, but I will still be watching. Why will I be watching? So I can then come back and talk to you all about it. We did the pregame, then we'll do the postgame. Does that sound like a plan,
It does.
Dad?
And look, this is starting to get exciting. I mean, we're
It
starting to
is.
see which teams are truly ranked appropriately, and we're starting to see
Mm-hmm.
which teams, just probably shouldn't be ranked at all.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's getting
Exactly.
good. Getting
We're
good.
moving along this season. It's getting good. Next thing you know, we'll be in April. Next thing you know, we'll be in March. What am I saying?
Well,
By the way, I did not say this in the beginning, but this is Club Hoops, and this is a father-daughter women's basketball podcast. I was so excited to talk
and,
about the games. I didn't
and
do our intros, and
and
I'm
I'm
Natalie,
Gregory, and
by
I
the
am
way.
Gregory, and I am Gregory. Hey, when do
See?
we start teasing Unrivaled?
Oh, well, it's not starting till January, the first week of January, so maybe
We'll start
next
teasing
week?
it. We should
Maybe
start teasing.
we'll
Yeah,
start teasing
yeah.
it. Yeah. Um, Thank you for watching. Usually we're a little bit more put together, a little more buttoned up. We know last names. Blame vodka. But I think all in all, we talked about everything that need to be talked about. Oh, I didn't get your prediction. Who do you think is going to win Tennessee versus
Uh,
Louisville?
I think Tennessee's going to win.
Okay, perfect.
I think Tennessee will cover. They'll cover the point spread.
Okay. I think Louisville will win. So it'll be interesting to see which one of us is right and has
Now,
bragging rights for the
now,
next
now,
episode.
question: do you think UConn's going to win? Okay,
Absolutely. Not a doubt
so
in
do
my
I. I,
mind.
I agree with you there.
No shade to Iowa. That's not a knock
Yeah,
on them. I just think, like we said, UConn is the next expansion team for the WNBA, and they should be the developmental
yeah.
team for the WNBA, right? Yeah. So no shade. So we've got a UConn win for both of us.
Yep,
I think Louisville's going to win. You think
I do.
Tennessee's going to win? Can't wait to see the outcome. Come back for the post game chat. Enjoy these games, and until then, we will talk to you later. Bye. Oh,
Wait.
and
Oh,
cheers.
cheers.
Wherever you
Bye,
are.
folks.